Tell us who you are, and then after that we zoom straight into the discussion. Yes.
Hello, can you hear me properly? Yes. Okay, so welcome. As some of you already know, I'm Kafui. My name is Grace. I'm a Ghanaian born in Conway, but I spent totally about Accra because I wanted a mentor in my grandfather, who is Bishop Isaac Kojo. He loves women, females, to the extent that he wants them to aspire to anything they want, they dream to become. And it was very necessary that I moved to Accra to continue my basic education. And I finally went to Molex School. It's the only school in the Volta region. And so though they say secondary school, high school, we still say we are Molex School. And from there, my GHS headmistress encouraged me to do science. She felt that Kafui was very intelligent and trying to inspire her fellow students. You know, in GHS I had to form a club called Put Them Right. But when I got there, the girls were getting pregnant left, right, and center. You know, I moved from Accra back to home. So I saw that there's something wrong and I needed to solve it. I always want to solve problems. And I formed that club and I was nearly beaten to death because I advised girls not to get pregnant, boyfriend, girlfriend issues, and I was cornered one day somewhere and the gentleman wanted to beat me up. And I was saved by another senior. I'll never forget that. But I never relented with the science. And my grandpa, which is Bishop, and I wanted me to do art because he thought that I did mathematics, I did geography, and I excelled more in geography than maths. And when he looks at me, because I'm a woman, I nurture, I have a hand for healing people. Since I didn't become, I should either become a doctor or a geographer or a historian. And we had to wait 2 years to go to junior high school. Our time. It's 2 years. You need to stay home for 2 years before you go to school. And he asked me to switch to Lagos and do arts. I'm a science student. So it became very difficult. And here lies the case. He's a priest and wouldn't pay a bribe. So I stayed home and I didn't get to go to Lagos because it's very challenging to switch. And if you didn't have money to tap and say hi to a few people, you couldn't get it. Then a friend said he was doing physics at the physics department in the University of Cape Coast. He said, why are you home? You're very intelligent. Why did you stay home and all that? And I said, okay, Papa says I should go to Lagos, so I'm waiting to go to his alma mater. And he says, no. Okay, so there is, although they've admitted everybody, there's a course called remedial science, which even though you've not failed, you can still use that medium to enter University of Cape Coast. And Papa said, that's a school for teachers. And I said, no, it's not a school for teachers. We have other programs. So it was a challenge, but because he's a man of God, he doesn't take things too difficult. Like he gives you the opening space to guide you. Then he said, okay, then you go and do the remedial course and see if you'll be chosen to do any course in the university. So I did. I met Bogasam, who is the vice dean of School of Physical Sciences now. I met Nana Ama Browne Emeritus. And so the long and short is that when you enter the remedial science, you do something called a course called physical sciences. I did chemistry, I did physics, I did computing. At a point, I wanted to change to go and do computer science because I love, technology, data analytics, and all that. Then they said you have to start from level 1. I said no, never. I won't. I must forge forward. So In level 3, and then you need to choose whether you go to physics, chemistry, or mathematics. But some was pulling me. Professor Gordon, who is of blessed memory, was with me. Professor Bad, chemistry, was also pulling me. When you're a good student, by God's grace, everybody pulls you. So I said, well, my headmistress has been a doctor. I'm afraid of injection, medicine. So what moral right do I have to tell somebody go and take your medicine? So I said, okay, I love numbers. I wanted a lot of money. When I was young, I wanted to be a pilot. But Ghana at that time didn't have the institution to back it. And we also didn't have the money to push me to abroad. So I'll still stay in the field where I can play with numbers, computers, I can do programming and all that. So I ran to mathematics because I love numbers and letters. And when I got there, when I reached level 400, I was supposed to major in either statistics or mathematics or combine the two, mathematics and statistics. And I ended up going for statistics because it makes data beautiful with graphs, it models, it helps you program, use software, so I can still have my passion of computing, right? So I went there to brighten mathematics with the practical side, which we call statistics. And then when I'm done, BC, I said, oh, you're good, become a TA. I became a TA. So good advice was following me. Good advice, and I took them at the right time. Then once I ended with the TA, oh, you can do your masters. There are prospects here, you can teach. And I said, well, actually, I know how to talk and teach and direct people. I naturally advocate. I naturally want to solve problems. So I think it's a good thing. So I enrolled into masters with my own resources because Papa said, Kafui, I was a pensioner when you started school. And you finish, I'm still a pensioner. The money they pay us is so small. So can you work a little bit and then continue? And I said, oh, Papa, but I'm targeting something. And I need to, so I took up a teaching job at a secondary school then called Harris Senior Secondary School in Cape Coast here. Ogaman has been very good to me, right? So I went there, I taught mathematics, I became head of department, house mistress, all the things. Once I was doing the masters, getting small money, and then I'll call, so, oh, can you let me pay school fees? So I finally finished my masters. And when I was done, luckily at that time, they were looking for lecturers. I did an MPhil in statistics. So I became a lecturer. By the crack of luck, as soon as I became a lecturer, they now want PhD for lecturing. So it's grace, unmerited favor, whatever it is, I tapped in and I grabbed it. But I proved myself. And then, through the ranks, I couldn't go to Oxford University and Lancaster University because it was a mother fresh, my baby. I lost the opportunity. Some financial issues, but I took my PhD. So for me, I'm a UCC baby. From undergrad, MPhil, doctorate. Me, moi, here, local chapter. So I said, Ogaman has been very good to me. They trained me and brought me to where I am, and my children were born here. Now I'm a senior lecturer in the Department of Statistics, and I've held a lot of positions. But one thing I want to say that I always want to shine where I am, whether it's a big corner or a small corner. Whatever I am given to do, I do it well. It doesn't matter what it is. So I'm an advocate. I've been trained as a STEM ambassador. I am currently an expert in statistics and gender, writing the Human Development Report for Ghana. I'm a consultant there. And we are trying to promote inclusiveness for females and girls. And that's what I'm pushing there. And STEM. And I've been working with some fine consultants from here and UNDP, Ghana Statistical Service and all. And I've formed several clubs and foundations. I founded Women in Statistics Ghana. I have a mentorship group for females, and I have also instituted congregational awards for the past 5 years. rewarding students in STEM, especially mathematical sciences. So BSc Mathematics with Business, BSc Mathematics with Statistics, BSc Mathematics, BSc Statistics, and then we have the statistics group that come and top up. So 7 programs. And this last year we gave them 1,000 cedis cash prize, a certificate, and then of course the recognition. So, and I am also one of the AIMS mentors. So wherever I go, I want to mentor, and that's my plan. So please.
Okay. Let's give Dr. Kafui a round of applause. That was very insightful. I will go on to my next question, which is my biggest question, because I believe that a lot of us here want to venture into the field of STEM. When I went to secondary school, I was in the science class, but I was the only girl in the class. In fact, we were 2 girls. I came to class the next day, and the other girl had run away. So I was the only girl in the class. So I ran away, and I went to join the arts because I didn't have a mentor. I hadn't seen people in my field like that. I attended Asasewa Secondary School. It's so far away in the eastern region. The place had very little amenities. Almost nothing was going on there. And we were the first, I think we were the first batch of boarders in the school. So a lot of things were very new, weird, and strange over there. I went there not by choice, but then I ended up there. And now in my class, I didn't have people who looked like me. I didn't have lecturers who were females, and then I didn't have people who looked like me. Then the only partner I had who looked like me also ran away. So I had to run away. Nothing inspired me to stay in my science class. So I want to find out from you, what inspired you to venture into STEM? Maybe I'll start from Dr. Regina Esi.
Let me start by saying that I was actually a business student.
Oh, okay.
I did business in SHS.
I don't think your microphone is.
Hello.
Yeah, I think it's better now.
So I did business in SHS because I have always wanted to work in the bank. Do you know why? Because of how they dress, the views, how they carry themselves about. So I have always wanted to be in that domain. And after SSC, I wanted to do math with business, but I was told that I didn't do a course. I need to have elective math and no, I got the lie. I was supposed to do a cons and elective math together before I'll be able to do math with a cons or math with business. And so my love for math ended me with IT, information technology. So that's what I did during my undergraduate studies. And you know, computer science is math. Yeah. If you don't love math, don't go there. So although there is difference between IT and computer science, IT is basically about the managerial aspect of computing. But with computer science, that is where the technicality, someone would say the mechanics of computer. So after my undergraduate studies, I had the opportunity to become a TA and then research assistant, and then I got the opportunity to go and further my education in China. And so I chose, that's when I got admission to the computer science domain. In fact, it wasn't easy. Nothing good comes with ease. It was really tough because when you get there, then you get to know that there is difference in the education system. And for you to be able to catch up with how things are going on, it means you need to work extra harder. And you know, in the computer science domain, we have few females there. So the Ghanaian ladies were just 3 in the whole class. And gradually, we were able to finish the master's. And I happened to be the second best outstanding international student, okay? So I was given the opportunity to do my PhD in computer science. And in the PhD class, I was the only female.
Yeah.
So
it's always like that.
So intimidating, but me too, me you have to be very tough. And then what men can do, we can also do better. So I had to encourage myself, and I always want to be on top of issues. So at times I need to spend midnight reading because I want, by the time I get to the class, I want to be able to let them know that they can't intimidate me.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm also here to learn. We all want PhD. So with that, I think it's really motivated me. And then most of the males, at times, the way they speak to you, and me, I will not allow myself to be intimidated. So I'll just tell you that no, this is it, and I'll just free my mind and go my way. And gradually, you could see that I was going along with them, and that actually ended me in this domain. So from business to...
But what would you say was that one thing that inspired you to stay? Because in my case, apart from the fact that I was, taken to the school because it wasn't what I chose, the second thing that was killing my spirit was the fact that I was a baby in a class full of men and nothing was there to inspire me. Maybe there is somebody here in that situation. What inspired you at that point to do the switch from getting money quick and then venturing into the math?
Actually, inspired me was that there were few females in there. And so I want to be one of the few females to be able to motivate others and get others into this domain. So that was why I was not allowing myself to be intimidated, because I thought that if I'm able to do it, people will look up to me to be able to also achieve this particular standard. So I think that is what I think.
Wow. Dr. Nana Ama, please, what would you say was your inspiration to stay in the field of STEM?
My story, if I start with, so I'll bring out a few essential ones. So I didn't grow up with any mind that I want to do this or that. Actually, growing up, I only saw a nurse who was my mother. I didn't know what work my father was doing. I knew he was working at the hospital, but not a doctor, and he was dressed and go to work every day. And I saw farmers and fishermen. So these were only professions I was seeing growing up. And I wasn't interested in being a nurse because my mother always come home complaining about patients and this and that, and I didn't want to do that. So, and I didn't, though I was going to farm with my parents and grandparents, it wasn't also something like I said I would. So growing up, I didn't have anything on my mind that I want to do this or that. What pushed me on, which is an advice I will stress on to all of you, even if you want to do anything, is what is expected of you now and at every stage you are. What drove me on was to pass my exam. The next exam I'm writing. So JSS, I know I have to pass BC, even if I want to do whatever. Pass BC and move on. SHS, I know I have to pass my SSC. So me, I take exam as a world war. I do it and I kill it. So unlike Madam Adelaide said, I have never failed in exam, but I've not also been first in class. I only pass. Just what is enough. No, this is very important to me, and it's important that you know. So if you hear people at higher level, professors, SHEROES, heroes, some have failed and have risen, have done it again repeatedly to get to where they are. Some also get the barest minimum to move on. And it has been my case. I've been an average student through my school. So JHS, I wasn't the best. I was like third, fourth in class. Secondary school, I was just around, somewhere in the middle. There were subjects I was good in. And choosing science, so that is what drove me on what to do the next stage. And so today, it is like that with me. What is the next thing? So that's a story I can share one day. When I go to the University of Ghana, people wonder how I made it to full professor in physics in that short time. Maybe another platform, I'll talk about that. So for now, it's just to pass, to move on. So the expectation of the now. And most of you are in JHS and SSS. What is expected of you now is not to engage in bad friendship, the concern groups, the gossip groups you are in. what you are supposed to engage in now is not to be having boyfriends and girlfriends and wasting time. What is expected of you is as simple as learn. Any way you will learn to pass your exam, learn and pass the exam. Our conditions of teaching and learning are not the best of it. But it is your duty to make it anyways. You can't afford to fail, and even if you fail, you have to rise again and move. So that has driven me through to today. Now going into science, it's also not seeing anybody because I didn't get opportunity like this when I was growing up. It was through the normal school and going, and I was curious. I always wanted to understand why certain things happen. So if you are curious like me, it will drive you into doing physics, especially physics. And that is what drove me. I want to understand why is it that I'm talking here in the microphone and you can hear it in that corner. Why? How? Why is it that the lights went off? Why? Why can't we have the light all through? So I ask these questions at home and at school. And when I ask, sometimes I get answers from my parents, especially when the moonlight, when you grow up in the village, you appreciate the full moon a lot because you won't have lights. I got lights in my village when I was in DHS 2 or 3. So growing up when I was in primary school and all of that, you appreciate moonlight. Well, that's the time you play around with friends in the evenings after school. But when there's no moonlight, it's all dark and you go home a bit early to sleep. So why do we have like moon, phases of the moon? I didn't know the name until I was in secondary school anyway. So we have full moon and no moon, half moon, crescent, and all those things. So some of the questions I asked my parents, they're able to tell the answers. I know some they didn't know, but they had to say something. But most of them, I got some answers from my teachers. And anytime I ask and teachers struggle to answer, they tell me that you have to do science when you get to secondary school. So these were primary school DSS stories I'm telling you. You have to do science when you get to secondary school. Luckily enough, I got admission to go to Bantimandi Secondary School and I chose to do science. And at the time we were doing 3 electives, not 4 like today. So I chose mathematics. They said was 2-year curriculum. So mathematics didn't start in the first year. But I said I want to do science, but why am I doing only physics and chemistry when I joined the biology class? I'm like, I can't draw. Anything I use my fingers to do, I'm bad. I can't draw. I can't do those arts. I'm very bad at it. I have a big weakness in that space. So biology, I understand it was so interesting, but I was never getting the mark. So physics came naturally. I was getting the mark. It was easy. I was just moving. Chemistry, I struggled to pass through. So I was boring. I struggled to pass through. So naturally, physics came my way, and then through my wanting to know more and wanting to learn to pass the next stage, I came to UCC and did physical science. I have a story there, and it's not probably necessary to share here, but eventually did physical science and chose physics, like she chose statistics to do. Then finally, I finished with BSc physics. Professor Sam, I called him Professor Sam, was my lecturer as well at the physics department. So I finished with BSc physics. And another thing that moved me, so my mentorship or role modelship, there are differences. Maybe another time you can talk about this. But I would say my mentorship started from after I had finished my first year in physics. When having this eclipse came at the time, and so many visitors from abroad, scientists, physicists came to UCC, and we had an event on campus here. Then somebody said, that's Professor Alote Bowie. The speed at which I heard about him, I read about him in books, but I was upstairs. Somebody said, that's Professor Alote Bowie. I didn't know how I ran from the step down, and by the time I got to, I was panting. I'm Nana Ama. I finished. I want to talk to you. Take your time. I'm ready. Take your time. I'm here. Take your time. So I just said, "From I want to be like you." He said, "Oh, really? No problem. Then let's start." So once in a while, I'll call him. I'll just greet him. Oh, Prof, I thought to greet you. Oh. That's all. Prof, I thought to greet you. Then one day he said, "But what do you plan to do?" I said, "Well, I want to do my master's, but I want to do my master's in physics." I started master's in physics at the Department of Physics. And Professor Alote supported me. But that was the first time I saw $100 bill, $100 as a whole, $100. But the first one I saw it. After my first degree and started masters, then he was paying my fees for masters. So he gave me $100 a month for 4 months for 2 semesters. So every semester is 4 months. So every 4 months for 2 semesters. For the 1 year course work that I did, then it moved on from there. So anything academic, I will discuss with him. He will give me the direction, then do it this way, then do this way, then do that. Then another person, Professor J.J. Fletcher, he was my supervisor during the undergraduate studies, and he exposed me to a lot of programs, workshops like this, but all of those were after my first degree. So your duty, as I said earlier on, or what drove me, which I feel can help you, is to use the fact that you need to pass your next exam as a motivation to move forward. You can be, if you want to be a lawyer and you have not passed your exam, you cannot be. If you want to do this robotics, do a master's PhD in artificial intelligence like Dr. Regina, and you have not passed your JHSPC and secondary school SSC, WASC, whatever they call it, you cannot be. So let's that drive your interest wanting to move to the next level. Is that enough? Yes. Thank you very much.
Let's give it your inspiration for staying in the sun.
Well, my inspiration stemmed from the fact that I was taught to value myself. And I shared earlier on through my academic life sort of that I want to always solve problems. So I asked myself, what can I do? What type of education must I do or go into to be able to do this and that? So the interest to help and solve things pushed me to mathematical sciences. But as all the speakers are speaking, they talked about mentorship. If you value who you are and how worthwhil you can be to society, then if you get a mentor and if you are lucky, you must listen. You must take advice. That's another thing that can also push you on. Because if the advice or the mentorship is coming, you still want to do what you want to do and follow the crowd, you won't get there. So discipline, mindset, the mindset for me was, I am very important to myself. I'm a female, then we are girls. So we say, I'm a girl, I'm so important, I'm beautiful and intelligent. So I affirm to myself all the time. And this I got from Bishop Zane, who raised me.